Hi guys, I usually don't post stuff like this because I usually just play Minecraft or I play Valorant and I like do stuff, but I recently had a nice little coding streak going during summer vacation and I got a little bit lazy and I broke that streak, so I don't want to forget how to code, I don't want to forget Python, I don't want to forget Java because those are the only two languages I know. So I want to make sure that I'm still strong at them and I'm still doing them every single day. So I'm just going to be doing a LeetCode problem every day in Python and an LeetCode problem every day in Java. You guys can obviously watch it if you're interested to learn like how to solve the problem. I am just my first year into comp sci, so I wouldn't say I'm very good at coding, but I think when I explain my code I'm pretty decent at it, so I'm just going to attempt it over here. So this problem is just called base 7, and basically what this problem does is given an integer num, return a string of its base 7 for base 7 representation. So I took this class called Logic and Algorithms where we kind of did like tables like this. I lose in my brain like what it's called. But essentially what you do here is you do 100 divided by 7. So 100 divided by 7 is 14. So yeah, 100 divided by 7 is 14. I don't know why I had to question that. And when you do that, your remainder is going to be 2. So you have 2 over here. And then 14 divided by 7 is 2. So you're going to have 0 here. And then 2 divided by 7 is 2. And then obviously you can't keep going and going and going and going. So your output is just going to be 202. It's the exact same with negatives. So 7 divided by 7 is 1, but your remainder is going to be 0, and then 1 divided by 7 is just 1, so 1 over here, and then obviously you can't find your remainder anymore, so your answer is just going to be negative 10. So you can obviously just solve it like a positive, and then your output is just going to be negative. So I'm going to try attempting the problem over here. Basically what I'm going to do here is basically what I know from this is if the number is 0, we cannot like have the base be anything but 0. So what I'm essentially just doing here is as long as the number equals 0, we're just gonna, is this properly? Okay. We're just gonna, and then, okay, let me explain it again properly. So what I'm essentially just doing here is if our number equals 0, we're gonna return 0 because you can't find the base of 7 from 0. So all we're going to do is return 0. So we're not going to run it through the loop we're about to create or anything. We also have cases for negative numbers like we have over here. So we're going to do something for like that over here. So we're going to do negative equals num is less than 0. And then num is absolute value of num. And this is something new I learned like a few months ago. ABS is just absolute value. We're just finding the positive of the number. I mean, we could kind of do the same thing and just multiply it by -1, but I think absolute value is a lot cooler. Result is, and I'll explain this once I'm done with it. So this is just one whole part. I'm kind of digging out the chunks, I should do that. Okay. Well, number is less than 0. Number's at 7. Probably gonna speed this part up. Okay, so let me explain this whole part. So basically what we're doing here is we're creating a while loop. And so we set a condition in our while loop. So as long as our number is more than 0, we're gonna find the remainder of the number. And our remainder is found through a function called mod, and mod is just the parentheses. So mod just finds a remainder for you. And our remainder is going to be added to the first part of our string, so plus result. So let me think. Okay, so comments in Python I think are, okay, got it. I've been doing a lot of Java lately, so I apologize. But so basically what you do here is if I have 202 as my string, what this essentially does is it'll add to the first, so it'll be 102 if I'm adding like a 1 to it. So it's just adding the number to the beginning of the string, which they're doing here, and then they're doing here. Because that's the way they want us to output. And what we're gonna do next, what we're doing next is we're doing floor division to get a new num so we can continue our while loop. And floor division is essentially if I'm dividing 11 by 2, I would get 5.5. And so instead of obviously rounding it like it should be rounded, we're rounding it down. So 11 floor division 2 is going to be 5. 7 floor division 2 is going to be 3. So we're just rounding it down. So in every case, we're rounding it down so we can get the next number since we already got the remainder, and that would be the proper way to do it. And like we stored our negative value, so if our number is negative, our result doing here essentially is we're adding a negative to our result, and it's just going to be the first thing, so it's just adding it to the front. And then obviously we need to return our result in order to get it. And then we're going to run it, and we hope that it runs fine, and I have no syntax errors. And I have syntax errors, so we're going to look and figure out what syntax error do I have. And then syntax error again. Cool. Okay, so I had some indentation errors here. So let me. Okay, so I had some indentation errors, and I know what I did wrong here. I added a space for my empty string, and I've been doing this since I started coding. No spaces in empty strings. Then you're just adding a space at the end, or the beginning, at the end, I think. Yeah. And we got it right. So we're just gonna submit that, and I know I got it right because I got the right output. And we are done. And yeah, that was my first problem in Python, and I'm gonna do a Java one next later.